Hi everyone, welcome to another video here on She's Fit. Have you ever woken up feeling bloated, exhausted, and wondering why the scale just won't budge even though you've been eating clean? The secret might not be in what you're eating, but in the exact moment that last bite hits your mouth. Today, we're going to reveal the invisible hormonal cascade that turns a late-night dinner habit into a silent saboteur of your health and your fat-burning potential. Before we dive in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. And do me a huge favor, smash that like button. It really helps me keep bringing this life-changing content to you. Trust me, here at She's Fit, you're going to discover how to transform your body the right way. So, let's get into it. Before we start, I need to share something that has made all the difference for me. You know those days when you try hard but feel like your body just isn't responding the way it should? Well, I found out that sleep has way more impact on weight loss than I ever imagined. That's when I discovered Sleep Lean, a natural supplement specially designed to help women burn fat while they sleep. Yes, while they sleep. It's not a miracle, of course, but when combined with good nutrition and the right habits, the results are amazing. I personally felt my body lighter, my belly less bloated, and a different kind of energy just within the first few weeks. I'll leave the link here in the description so you can check all the details after the video. Trust me, it was a game changer for me. Now, let's get back to the video content. Our bodies don't function linearly, nor do they act like a simple calories in vs. calories out calculator. Instead, they operate like a symphony orchestra governed by 24-hour cycles called circadian rhythms. Imagine that inside of you, there's a master clock in your brain, but beyond that, every single cell in your digestive system from your liver to your pancreas and your intestines has its own peripheral clock. These clocks expect light and food during the day to generate energy, and darkness and fasting at night to perform tissue repair and toxin clearance. When you eat a late dinner, you're essentially forcing a heavy software update on a system that has already begun its shutdown process. You're sending a heavy manual labor signal at the exact moment. The science of chronobiology reveals something both fascinating and, at the same time, dangerous for anyone trying to lose weight. Our insulin sensitivity is not constant. It follows a downward curve as the sun sets. During daylight hours, your body is a perfectly calibrated machine, designed to process glucose and turn it into immediate fuel. However, as the night progresses, your system enters a state of natural, physiological insulin resistance. It is as if the locks on your cells are intentionally jammed so that your body can focus on other internal functions that don't involve processing outside energy. Eating a late dinner means you are dumping a load of fuel into a system that has already closed its floodgates. When you consume carbohydrates or proteins late at night, your blood sugar spikes, but because of this natural resistance, it stays elevated far longer than it would if you had eaten that exact same meal at breakfast or lunch. Your pancreas, in a desperate attempt to compensate, has to pump out much more insulin than usual. The big problem for us women is that insulin is the ultimate storage hormone. As long as it is high in your bloodstream, it is biologically impossible to burn fat. Over weeks and months of keeping up this habit, this persistent nighttime insulin spike completely blocks lipolysis, the technical term for the process of burning and mobilizing stored fat. Basically, by eating dinner late every day, you are locking the door to your fat stores and throwing away the key for 10 to 12 hours. Even if you don't eat much, the presence of insulin signals to your body that storage mode must stay on. This creates a hormonal environment where every extra calorie is prioritized for visceral adipose tissue, that deep fat between your organs that causes inflammation and increases your waistline. You end up trapped in a body that refuses to release energy, not because you lack willpower, but because you are giving the hormonal command to store at the worst possible time of day. One of the deepest and most silent forms of damage caused by late-night dining happens at the very heart of your endocrine system, directly affecting growth hormone, the famous GH. For us women, GH is essentially the holy grail of longevity and body composition. It's widely known as the youth and fat loss hormone. The maximum peak of GH release doesn't happen during the day. It occurs during the first few hours of your deep sleep, typically between 11 o'clock p.m. and 2 o'clock a.m. However, GH has a mortal enemy, insulin. If you eat a late dinner and go to bed with your digestive system still running at full throttle, your insulin levels will be spiked at the exact moment that GH peak is supposed to occur. Biology is unforgiving. High insulin levels almost completely inhibit the secretion of GH. In practice, this means you are missing your body's greatest daily opportunity to burn visceral fat and repair tissues. Without this nightly pulse of growth hormone, your ability to rebuild muscle fiber and maintain muscle tone is severely compromised. Over time, this leads to a drop in your basal metabolic rate, meaning you start burning fewer calories even when you are just sitting still, because your body lacks the necessary stimulus to maintain lean mass. But the damage goes far beyond the scale. It reaches the cellular level by interrupting autophagy. Autophagy is your body's internal waste management system, where cells recycle damaged components and flush out accumulated toxins. This renewal process only reaches its full potential in a fasted state. When you eat late, you cancel out this cleanup. The result is what we call accelerated metabolic aging. Externally, this translates to that look of chronic fatigue that even the best makeup can't hide. Your skin loses its glow, under-eye puffiness becomes permanent, and collagen renewal is sabotaged. By eating late, you are literally preventing your body from healing and rejuvenating itself while you sleep, trading a night of renewal for a night of forced, inefficient digestion. Eating a late dinner isn't just about the calories. It's a direct assault on your autonomic nervous system. When you consume a meal close to bedtime, you force your body to keep the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight mode, on high alert. Instead of your system smoothly transitioning into the parasympathetic state, which is the rest and digest mode, it enters a state of metabolic stress. To process that food, your heart has to beat faster, blood flow is diverted to the digestive tract, and crucially, your core body temperature rises. The science is clear. For you to enter deep, restorative sleep, your body temperature needs to drop by about 1 degree. By eating late, you block this natural cooling process, keeping your body hot and on edge. This scenario causes your levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, to skyrocket during the middle of the night. Cortisol is the polar opposite of melatonin. When one goes up, the other must go down. The result is the complete destruction of your sleep architecture. You might technically sleep for the recommended 8 hours, but it will be low-quality fragmented sleep with a severe reduction in the time you spend in REM, which is vital for emotional balance and deep sleep where physical recovery happens. You wake up feeling like you were hit by a truck, even though you were in bed all night. The real danger to your weight loss journey begins the next morning. Because of that poor night's sleep and the nighttime cortisol spike, you wake up with a massive imbalance between two key hunger hormones, ghrelin, which increases hunger, and leptin, which signals fullness. You wake up in a state of hedonic hunger, where your brain desperately craves quick energy to compensate for the exhaustion. This is exactly why, after a late dinner, your cravings for sweets, bread, and refined carbs become uncontrollable first thing in the morning. It's a vicious, cruel cycle. Tonight's late dinner dictates tomorrow's lack of willpower and poor food choices. You aren't failing your diet because you lack discipline. You're failing because your hormones were sabotaged by the timing of your last meal. We often forget that our digestive system isn't just an inert pipe. It's a living ecosystem that also has its own rhythm of work and rest. Your gut, quite literally, needs to sleep. There is a fascinating biological process called the migrating motor complex (MMC), which doctors often describe as the body's internal broom. This mechanism consists of electromechanical waves that sweep through your small intestine only when you are in a fasted state, clearing out food scraps, cellular debris, and preventing bacteria from the large intestine from migrating where they don't belong. When you eat a late dinner, you stop the MMC dead in its tracks. The broom stops sweeping because the system is forced back into active digestion mode. Interrupting this process frequently is a recipe for disaster. It leads to small intestinal bacterial overgrowth (SIBO) and the infamous dysbiosis. For a woman trying to lose weight, dysbiosis is one of the biggest hidden hurdles. When bad bacteria take over, they produce toxic byproducts known as lipopolysaccharides (LPs), which leak through the intestinal barrier and trigger what we call chronic low-grade inflammation. This inflammation is silent but powerful. It signals to your body that it's under attack, causing you to retain severe amounts of water to dilute those toxins. That persistent belly bloat that won't go away no matter how hard you diet. Often, it's just your gut crying out for a rest that never comes. Furthermore, your gut health dictates your mental health. About 90 to 95% of your body's serotonin, the hormone responsible for well-being and patience, is produced in the gut under ideal conditions of rest and balance. By eating late and causing this inflammatory chaos, you are sabotaging your mental clarity and emotional stability. The next day, you feel more anxious, irritable, and plagued by brain fog. Therefore, the habit of eating late isn't just increasing your body fat percentage. It's degrading your microbiome, inflaming your cells, and draining your joy, making your weight loss journey a much heavier burden than it ever needed to be. To reverse the damage from years of late-night dining, the secret isn't starving yourself, it's reclaiming your biological ancestry by aligning your meals with the sun. For the female body, which is exquisitely sensitive to hormonal fluctuations, the sweet spot is closing your eating window at least 3 to 4 hours before bed. This interval is the sacred time your body needs for insulin to drop, core temperature to fall, and the path to be cleared for melatonin and GH to take command. By doing this, you aren't just going on a diet. You are reconfiguring your biological clock so that your metabolism starts working for you instead of against you. We know that modern life can be a challenge, but remember, progress is better than perfection. If you can't manage to eat dinner by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock p.m., the strategy is to change what you eat. If dinner has to be late, it must be light and functional. Prioritize easy-to-digest proteins and fiber, like cooked vegetables or a warm salad. The fatal mistake is consuming simple carbs like pasta, bread, or sweets during this time, as they spike insulin at the exact moment it should be at its lowest daily level. By naturally extending your overnight fast, you give your liver the window it needs for gluconeogenesis and detoxification. It is during this period of digestive silence that your body, with no sugar available in the bloodstream, is finally forced to tap into fat stores in your thighs, hips, and abdomen for energy throughout the night. Small adjustments to your meal timing can yield aesthetic results and energy levels that no restrictive calorie-counting diet could ever deliver. Imagine waking up feeling light, with a flat stomach and a level of mental clarity you haven't felt in years. This happens because you stopped fighting your own biology. By mastering your victory window, you take back control of your fat-burning potential. Weight loss stops being a battle of willpower against hunger and becomes a natural consequence of a body that is finally in harmony with its own natural cycles. Understanding that your body is a rhythmic biological organism is a total game changer for permanent weight loss. Eating an early dinner isn't just about the calories. It's about giving your system the respect and the time it needs to heal and reset. Start closing your eating window earlier today and watch the magic happen in the mirror and in your energy levels. And don't forget the tip I gave you at the beginning. If you need to lose weight, Click the link in the video description and get Sleep Lean right now. It might be exactly what is missing in your journey. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe here to She's Fit, and share this video to help the channel grow. Also, let me know in the comments what kind of content you want to see next to help you on your weight loss journey.